Hey everybody, welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel and this is my reality. So I wanted to come on here real quick to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. And this whole entire revenge P. Now we're gonna allow Phaedra to come back allegedly. Phaedra Parks, who was on Atlanta Housewives, I feel like for about 9 years or so, like that. Maybe it was a little less. Maybe it was 8 years. I don't remember exactly. I think she came in season 3. Was Phaedra there season 3? She was either there season 2 or season 3. But anyways, nonetheless, she showed up, and at some point, she allegedly told Porsha Williams, who's another housewife that is apparently returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But they were having this whole plot and scheme that Todd said, I'm not joking, that basically they lied about regarding Kandi Burruss, another person that was there from, I think, season 2. And so on that, what season was it? I feel like this was season 8 or 9, where Porsha throughout the season was going around saying that or had told she told people that, specifically Kandi, that she was told by someone else. It came out in the reunion that Phaedra told her that Kandi said they were gonna, I guess, try to give Porsha some sort of alcohol or pill or something to impair her. And they were going to then take her back to their dungeon at their house, at Kandi and Todd's house in Atlanta. And so, of course, Kandi, who says she never drinks and she doesn't do drugs and that, she would never do that. She's seen so many people, lose everything going down that road. So she said that she would never do that, and basically everybody on the show knew that was pretty accurate for Kandi. But as a result of this all coming out, Phaedra was released from her contract or wasn't asked back or effectively fired, right? And there's two schools of thought. There's a school of thought with Phaedra where people are like, oh, just move on. It's been a year. That lady didn't deserve to get fired for that. They all do something, whatever, right? No, I'm going to need you to fire her immediately. We having an emergency meeting, okay? This got to go. Actually, her and Porsha. Bye. Girl, bye. Child. No, you're not going to sit on this TV show and just make shit up. You're just not, we're not doing that. So, so Phaedra was let go or let out of her contract or whatever, right? So, seems like after one season of Phaedra being off, or maybe not even, people felt like Phaedra should have another opportunity to come back. And I think a lot of people felt that way because Porsha was there. So why is Phaedra the only person that's being suffering the consequences? I agree with that. That's why I say I think both of them should have left. I just think there's lots of things going on with Bravo that just make it hostile work environment, unhealthy, toxic work environment. That's my opinion. I don't work there. So I don't know for sure. But that brings me to what happened recently with Kenya Moore, right? So allegedly there's some sort of revenge P, some sort of photograph or image that either was created or manipulated or gotten from somewhere and shown to a group of people that Kenya Moore invited to her Kenya Moore spa opening in Atlanta, which is basically like a hair care spa. Allegedly, that's what it is. I don't know how whatever. So Kenya, basically, from what we could tell from the details that did come out, she had looks like some poster boards basically saying this woman, Brittany Edie, who is a new housewife, is a hoe. And that, she's a fraud hoe and she's a ho and she's every hoe you can think of. That's what she said about this lady, Brittany Edie, which is very ironic to me. Well, it's not really ironic, but it's interesting and very rich because wasn't Kenya crying in that gym after practice or after the workout with Kandi? After Apollo vindicated her, and she was just like, these women, well, Kandi was telling her these women don't believe that. They think Apollo's lying about lying and that she really is a hoe. And she broke down because I didn't ever do anything and I didn't want her husband and I've been called a whore for this many years. And then out of the gate, that's what you're doing? You're calling this woman a hoe? But Phaedra couldn't call you a hoe? Sounds pretty hypocritical. I'm not saying she should have called you a hoe either. All I'm saying is you are doing exactly what you got mad at Phaedra and Apollo for doing to you. You're doing the exact same thing to this lady. So why is it horrible that she put you through all of this, or they put you through all of this, years of your, destroying your character and whatever? And that's such a horrible thing, which it is. But then you turn around, the world doesn't know this lady, and you've already, I think, just based on some of the things I've seen, you've already made it to where this lady, there's a group of people, Team Toro or whoever, that are automatically out of the gate not going to give her a chance, simply because you've said this lady's a hoe. Now, the thing that's interesting to me, there's lots of people online like, well, I don't think Kenya did it. She couldn't have done it. It's not technically revenge P. And okay, well, where is the evidence that it isn't? I'll wait. I ain't saying it is. What I'm saying is, if you were saying something about me, and I have this large platform and these millions of people who watch this TV show and know who I am, not only around the world, but in Atlanta, they know who you are, right? You have one of the biggest microphones to say your piece, right? To clear your name. Why haven't you? It doesn't make sense to say, I didn't show something that was revenge P. And I promise you that's a lie, because I would never do that. Right? So if it isn't that, show it. Prove all of us wrong. The people with some sense, not the people that's just going off their emotions because they like you. And those very people would believe, if you told them this same story about their neighbor who they actually know, they'd be like, yep, she probably did that. They don't even know Kenya. And they have decided, I've seen people write in the comments, Kenya did not do this. And I'm like, but she don't even know you alive, sis. She don't even know you exist. But you know for sure she didn't do it. Are you watching the same TV show I'm watching? Why would I believe that exactly? Now, if Brittany Edie said these same allegations, let's say hypothetically, or if it was going around that Cynthia Bailey did that, I'd have reason for pause. I'd have reason to be like, that ain't like that. That's just that ain't Cynthia's thing. It would make sense. That ain't her thing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit, right? It doesn't. Stop me when I'm lying. It does not fit. It does fit with Kenya. I'm not saying revenge P fits with her. I'm saying trying to bully people, trying to humiliate people, trash people, the moment you don't like something about them, whatever that might be, whatever it is, whether they said something, they looked at you weird, whatever, inferred something, all the gloves are off. Right? So it is consistent with her behavior on this show. Whether or not King is technically like that in real life, I don't know. But I have a good gauge, and I just don't think that her persona on television is different than her real life. I just don't. We're all Kenya's friends. I don't know any, do y'all? Where are her friends that's been on the show with her? how are you 50 plus years old and we don't know anybody outside of the Housewives? Aunt Lori, who doesn't come on there anymore. That one guy that got in a fight season 6, I think, or season 5, season 6, I think, 5 or 6, I can't remember. I think it was season 6, but nonetheless, the pajama party, and he got him and Apollo were fighting or whatever. Okay, maybe that's her friend, but she's had problems with. This is the thing. King is falling out with Nene, Porsha, Cynthia, Apollo, Pheadra, Tanya, Eva. She didn't fall out deep with Eva, but it was there. Kim Zolciak, Kim Fields, and on and on and on. Even people off the show. Star Jones. What's the other lady's name? Vivica A. Fox. It can't be everybody else all the time. It can't be everybody all the time. But if we're using her past behavior as a rubric for her future behavior or her current behavior, I'm going to go with it's likely. And again, let's say I'm wrong. Please just come show us this non-revenge PP. Just come show it. Listen, if it doesn't add up, there's a lie somewhere. Something is afoot, and there's a lie somewhere. Because what's stopping you? If you've cleared it with your attorneys and they've said that what you presented is not that in the state of Georgia or federally, then that's what Kenny would be on a campaign showing, especially since she says, hey, I need people to come get in, seats in this salon. I would clear my name. Now, she said that's going to come. I would love to see it. It doesn't take an attorney to show us. It takes an attorney maybe that wants to look at the information and say, yes, you can go forth with this and say this. It doesn't take an attorney to come in forth and say, listen, I made a poor decision and I won't make that decision again. Apologize to Miss Edie. And here's what I showed. Bravo be damned. I'm going to show what I showed so that I can have my name cleared. Period. Because what is being alleged is pretty egregious, in my opinion. So clear your name. If it isn't Revenge P that you showed these people, show us the poster. Y'all put everything else on Instagram for public consumption. Show us the truth. Because I promise you, there's millions of people on the internet talk about, she didn't lie. Child, everybody lies. Be very clear. Your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, your bestie, everybody, you, me, everybody. The little kids. So little kids can lie, but you can't. Knock it all the way off. Child. I cannot. I can't. I absolutely can't. Because this is some malarkey. But I'm going to get back on track. So now Pheadra is being, allegedly, her name is being tossed around. And Pheadra got a whole bunch of jobs. She did tell that girl at that one table, she said, I have jobs. That's what she said. Child. She ain't lying. She's a whole attorney. She got a funeral business. It looked like she opened up a clothing store or something on Married to Medicine. She became a model seemingly after she got off from Wisconsin. Because I never thought Phaedra was pretty. And then after she left that show and she became a Wilhelmina model, I was like, well, damn, they can make anybody pop. And not saying she's ugly, but I'm just saying. I was like, oh, okay. So she went over there to Mary Madison, got her another bag. She said she about to get her another bag from Housewives. I ain't mad at it. Listen, I never thought Phaedra should come back until I saw her on Married to Medicine. And so many people like Carlos King constantly, but she don't bring anything. Shut up. She brings enough to be on that show and you not on there. What did Nene say? She told him, she said, I'm on Bravo and you're at home. Boo! What she said? Boo! I'm just saying, like, why? If she did enough for Bravo to say we're gonna sign her on for the next season, shut the hell up. I just don't understand these people who advocate for someone to be fired because they just don't like them. I think people advocate for someone to lose their job when they've done something really wrong and egregious. That lady is doing what is in the scope of her job, which is showing up to events, going fake shopping, having fake dinners, going on fake vacations. That's her job. And being toxic or bringing some sort of toxic conversation to the group about something. Have a conversation and listen to someone and then go tell somebody else. That is what Real Housewives of any franchise does. Stop me when I'm lying. I'm not. So I don't know why she can't come back. I would have never said it would have been okay for her to come back when she did that to Kandi. But I also don't think Porsha should have been on there. If you're going to fire Phaedra for saying it to you, Phaedra didn't say it to the world, allegedly. She said it to a cast member. So she's getting fired for saying something to a cast member. But Kandi, Burruss, can go on a whole radio show. I know she's not working for them anymore. But even before, she can go on a whole radio show and talk about some. It's cool. I don't see anything wrong. This is Housewives. This is Kandi. I'm paraphrasing. This is Housewives. If you do something, you can't say how I respond. Yeah, I can. So can the law. Kandi. And I like Kandi. Stop it. Knock it off with the hypocrisy, sis. You got this lady over here. She can't come. I'm not filming with her. No one else is filming with her. She can't come back until you actually leave. Then I'm over it. And I like Kandi. Hey, Miss Curves. I can't hear you. I don't know if you ready to come up or not. If you let me know when you're ready to come up. You ready? Okay. 1 second.
I don't think you can hear me till I'm actually up here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. How's it going?
Listen, it's going.
You know what? First off, y'all welcome to Chanel's Reality. Smash your like button, smash your subscribe button, ring her bell if you haven't already, so you can know when she uploads these videos. And BT Dub, I'm in California. And when you said you were going live at 1, I set my California alarm for 1, and then you was like, I'm on now. I'm like, well, she must be in another state.
Oh, I forgot. I am. Yes, it's Central.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Listen,
no
worries,
and then
I don't know if you messaged me. No, you
I called you. I called you, left your voicemail.
And on there, you said, oh, I'll do something at 1 or something. I can't remember exactly what it said, but I'm thinking to myself, it's past 1, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. So you've been on for a minute. I'm sorry.
No. I've been on here for maybe, well, let me take that back. I was on, and then I had to hop off because something was happening with my.
Okay.
We had a whole hurricane, and it's just a whole mess.
What time zone are you in?
Central Standard Time.
Okay, because it's 12:17 here, so that means it's 1:17.
Oh, it's 2:17.
Okay.
Yeah, I think y'all are 2 hours behind, right? Or something like
that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So anytime you're doing those lives on Sunday, I'll be like, I didn't know, because I just woke up, probably just like, let me get on here. I know that, if that makes sense, but it just didn't even. I didn't even think about it.
I like your t-shirt. My soulmate is black too. We just had our 28th anniversary on Sunday. Yes. All about that love. Right. Yeah. I don't even want to chop him up anymore. I love him.
Listen, I've been married almost 20 years, so I get it.
Right.
Like, you don't even have to say nothing. You know how the church mama don't have to say nothing. She just
just look.
We just think and think. Like, we understand. Listen.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to say this before we get into it, but y'all go and please go to Larger Curves channel too. I love her. She be on there sometimes. This don't happen all the time. But if she has something on her heart, she might be on that live for 4 hours, okay? And we all on there with her like, yep, we sure do think this.
I can go on a rant like nobody's business. And, you know, God bless YouTube because now my family don't have to listen to this stuff for 4 hours at a time.
And listen, I feel that way. That's why I love doing it. Now, every day I don't love it, if that makes sense, because sometimes it's like, ugh. But listen, I know my husband be like, oh. I know he's so supportive, but I think it's mainly because it's like, look, she over there.
She over there.
Yeah. And then he be gassing me up. He's like, you have 2,000 views or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Right. But he gassing me up, and there's another alternative. It's like, okay, so I get to play my game and she don't have to talk to me about the Housewives.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, so I wanted to come on here and talk because I keep saying to myself, I'm like, I'm going to let this Kenya Moore thing go. And it just seems like it's going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of saying, this is the mindset I'm in because I feel like there's a lot of, what's the right word? Hypocrisy going on. Right. So what's her name? Pheadra was terminated, fired, let go, left, her contract wasn't renewed, whatever the terminology is that they want to use for why she was let go. I agreed 1,000% with them letting her go. The thing I didn't understand is why is it that Porsha's there? Because at the end of the day, Pheadra saying something to you, which is egregious enough. Then you go on to the TV, to the worldwide, and you say it, and you don't get to go, regardless of because you should have verified it before you go put it on national TV. So that was my beef with that part of it. And so then it brings me to the Kandi thing now, because I was 10 toes down with her. I'm always 10 toes down for people if you've been victimized in some way like that. Right. So, but then now Kandi, you know, this has been weeks ago, but she went onto the little, you know, channel or station or wherever she was. And she was all like, well, I mean, you can't, this is Housewives and you can't, you know, basically manage how someone responds to whatever.
Right.
Yes, you can. If the way that you're going to retaliate and get me back is in this foggy area. So bringing it to the current conversation, I'm just kind of like, there's a lie somewhere. If things don't add up, in my opinion, in my book, somebody's lying about something. Right. Because now it's being said, oh, well, Bravo never said Kenya was fired, and Bravo never da. You could be very true. That could be very, very true. But when has Bravo ever said anyone got fired? Never. Right. So you now want to come and say, oh, this person, Bravo didn't say it, and this, that, and the third. Okay, that's fine. But my bigger issue, because that to me is like a distraction tactic. My bigger issue is people are still on here, ride or dying for this lady that doesn't even know they exist. That's number one. And number two, if what Kenya's been accused of, your neighbor was being accused of, or your child's teacher was being accused of, you'd be like, no, they gotta go.
Right. If somebody did that to you, your daughter, your mother.
Right. But somehow this lady is too smart to have done that. And so, okay, let's use your logic. This is why I'm irritated. We're going to use your logic, right? Let's use your logic. Yeah. Why on earth with this super smart member of Mensa human being, she's so cerebral, right? Uh-huh. Why has she not, if it isn't the revenge P, right? Because you cleared through your attorneys, because people keep coming online talking about it isn't that, it doesn't fall under. Okay, let's just say you're right. We're gonna go with that. Okay. Why haven't you showed us the poster? Right. Prove that you're not. Why would you let someone run with such an egregious narrative about you if you have proof that you didn't do that? Correct. Is show us the poster, and then we can move on with our life, and I can say, you know, we can all move on. But she can't do it. And so that's why I feel like something's afoot with that. And then also with the Phaedra thing, I'm just kind of like, it doesn't make sense to me that you're bringing back a person allegedly, because she's supposedly in talks. That
I don't think so. I don't think that's true. Only because she already signed a contract for Married to Medicine. They're currently filming Married to Medicine. So if she is coming back, it's not going to be this season unless it's like some kind of pop-on role. And there aren't usually contracts for pop-ups.
Right. But again, to me, it doesn't make sense because this is the bigger thing for me. Because I do think if they want it to cross-reference or they want it to overlap or whatever, they could make that happen because it's good for them. The thing that I don't understand is if you're saying allegedly, or you're letting the whole world run with this narrative of we let Kenya go. They didn't say it, but you letting people know indirectly, we let her go because of these allegations, because she was being looked into, right? But then we're going to bring someone who we terminated for very similar things, not like the revenge P thing, but something egregious enough that you allowed or you manipulated the lady who thought that there was an actual train running underneath the railroad or whatever, and there's 265 days in a year. You let her run with that narrative, and you're going to bring that person back that could have destroyed this, your employee of the year, all this time. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, why would you bring this person back but let this other person go? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, Miss Curzon got on the phone. Holla if you hear me. Carry on with your conversation, love. You good. But it's just, it just seems like someone's lying. So I feel like either they didn't fire Kenya for the reasons that they're saying, with the revenge P, or they're lying about bringing Pheadra back. I just don't think it could be both. Right, because too, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, you're fired this lady over a rumor. And let me be clear. I think she should have been fired over the rumor because she basically admitted that she said it, at least, right? So you fired her over a rumor, didn't fire the person that spread the rumor with malicious intent, but now you're going to bring her back to your show, allegedly, after you allegedly terminate her arch enemy, Kenya Moore. You're going to bring back the person that has similar behavior? Why? It doesn't make sense. But it didn't make sense for them to bring her back on, what is it called? Married to Medicine. But I enjoyed Pheadra on there. I was like, this is the Pheadra I've needed all this time, because I never believed Pheadra was real. I always thought she was fake. But it was fake because I feel like she was always trying to hide behind. She was trying to Instagram the world, social media the world, right? So it's like, I'm going to show. It's like your resume. You know how people lie on their resume? I'm going to show all my highlights, what is good about me. That's the Instagram in the world. I'm just going to show everything good, which sadly never worked out for her because nothing in her life ever was good because of Apollo, in my opinion, and her own lies. So it doesn't really make sense to me. And then the other thing too, I'm like, even if there isn't any revenge P in any of it, why then do you fire this lady? And why not? If we know Kenya at the end of the day does bring controversy to your show, does bring some level of ratings to your show, she's interconnected with the majority of the people on the show, with, I guess, exception of the two new people. Why not bring her? I mean, why fire her? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't wrap my brain around it. So I don't know. And then I saw something where Kandi was like talking about the people breaking the rules. I'm like, because she said something like, well, when did they suddenly change their rules? Listen, that's why handbooks are developed. It's no different than how laws get changed. Love. It don't take a lot of brain power to figure this out, but I don't understand how people don't figure it out. They changed the rules. I'm sorry, they changed the rules, yeah, and created a handbook for you, Kandi. I don't know of any other Bravo show where people were being accused of egregious things that Porsha and Pheadra were accused of. And then I'm like, why is Porsha coming back? And here's the thing. I could take Porsha or leave her. To me, I don't really know what she adds. I guess I would say she has a little bit of humor. She could be funny in her confessionals. But I'm anxious to see the new season. Because this is what I'm going to hope. I'm hoping that whatever is going on in the season right now, and whatever has gone on in the season right now, is going to be good. Because you already are going to have people wanting to watch simply because we all want to see what exactly happened. All of us. We all want to see it. So people are going to be anticipating. So I say, listen, this is a golden opportunity, Bravo, for you to win back some of your fans. Okay. For the viewers, some of the viewers, win these people back. You can win people back if you do something that's good. But I don't know how they'll be able to not play Kenya's situation. And I also don't know how they'll be able to play it. That trailer is going to be a mess. Ooh, Lord, tired. I haven't been sleeping 24 hours, guys. I have a little bit of insomnia. Plus, I've been trying to study for a licensing test I need to take. Another license I need to have. But I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand the Brittany Edie hate. I want to know something about this lady that qualifies Kenya to do such whatever it is that she did. And I want to know why, because now it's becoming this thing where it's going around on the internet. Well, Bravo never said that they fired Kenya. Bravo never said that they thought she did any type of revenge pee. Bravo never Okay, so we could add that to everybody's list of people that have been terminated from Bravo. They never said anything. They never said this person was fired for this. Put it out in the comments, because I certainly have never seen it. And then Bravo, why can't y'all come and show us the non-revenge pee so that y'all can put Kenya back to work? And Kenya, why are you not over there talking about on your live? Bravo, let me at them. Let me at them. I will not stand for this malarkey. Y'all are not going to sit on my timeline and tell me that I've done this egregious things that I've said I haven't done and then remove my check. No, unless maybe she's planning on suing them, because I don't understand. But I was going to say maybe she's planning on suing them. But then again, if that's your plan because you didn't do it, then that's fine. But why not go ahead and let us know?
Sorry, I had a call. I had to take that call. I'm on.
You're taking care of business.
That was for the lip readers, because there's that lady that be on IG and the prince was arguing with somebody, and she was saying, no, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were arguing about something, and she could read lips, and she was saying everything they said. So I'd be like this.
Right. That's kind of like the coaches at the football game. They put
they'd be like this. Mm-hmm. So you can't read their lips on the next play. So
what do you think about all this stuff going on?
I feel like it's really interesting too. I agree that it's like it needs to just be across the board. If it's a misdemeanor or a felony, then you're, now the words that Porsha used and that Pheadra used were neither misdemeanors or felonies. And she was fired toot sweet. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the reluctance is over firing somebody who put eggplants on poster boards. And allegedly there was a video too, because aggressively sucking was the terminology used for what they saw. And that cannot be conveyed in a still image unless there's some type of blur happening. Yeah. But even a blur, you can't really capture in the image. See, look, you guys can't tell what I'm doing. You can't really capture that. So I'm not sure why they was all talking about aggressively sucking the stuff. So there might be even more than just a poster board with eggplants.
But don't you find it fascinating that you have all these people on? It was so available. It was out there, even Kandi. If it's already out there, I find it. So then where is it? Where is this?
Where is it?
Accessible?
I don't know. The bloggers already have it.
Huh? Right. So,
yeah.
Where is it? Where is this phantom photo? Do you know where it is?
Why does Kandi think she knows that it was already available unless she's listening to Ken? And then she's talking about, Kenya never lies. Please name one valid relationship she had. Lies. Name the time she got married. Lies. Name the time she got divorced. Lies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're like, she's so smart and never lies. I'm like, you guys are not paying a mother attention, because all I hear are lies and all I see is not smart. Because when you do this in your own business and you have your products in stores across America, and you think that at your business you can put eggplants up and then still the people are supposed to go into a store and want to buy and support your stuff, None of it makes sense. I'm not sure how this is. Look, I'm gonna get a little political on your thing because this is exactly like the people saying that weekend at Bernie's for president is okay. Like nothing's wrong, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Acting like everything just like, oh, it's fine. You knew he was old when you voted for him. Yeah, and we also heard him say that he was going to be a transitional president, a one-term transitional president, and he promised the Americans that he was not going to run again in America, and here he come again, sleeping, shuffling up to the thing, pooping in his pants, talking about, I'm going to beat him in 2020. Fool, it's 2024. That's a real sign that it's over for you, and you are not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I just can't. And it's the same kind of mentality that we're dealing with these people that are praising freaking Kenya as the almighty smart, as the almighty, all foretelling, most powerful person who twirled herself off of TV with antics that I hope she's teaching Brooklyn not to engage in.
Right. I agree with everything you just said. And I haven't been watching any parts of the debate or that because
I didn't even watch. I just saw the shuffle on the stage and I saw that in a couple of clips. And then I was agreeing with 45 when he said, I didn't understand a word he just said. And I don't think he does either. I agree with the fool. I refuse to watch the whole thing because I need the 5 brain cells I have left to talk about reality TV.
Get it out.
They're crazy.
Listen,
it's a whole thing.
I had enough of debates back when that orange man became president. I don't have. It's gonna make me angry. So I just, you know how they say, what do they say? Ignorance is bliss. It's like
my God, so blissful in ignorance. I'm so happy when they're not running Roots on TV. I don't need to watch it.
Right.
That's the kind of mad I get about this kind of stuff. It's like you just are just, you know,
right.
Yeah. And then for Pheadra, I really don't think she's like, I just think that's all talk. She's currently under contract with another show on Bravo. When have we seen a crossover from that to there? We really haven't. I wouldn't really want to sully Married to Medicine is the best show on Bravo, in my opinion. And I wouldn't want to sully Married to Medicine with Peengate. I wouldn't want to sully them. So if they are going to do a crossover, I feel like it's going to sully Married to Medicine and these good, upstanding, professional doctor women who have everything to lose are now going to be associated with poster board.
I don't know. I'll say this though. I never really liked Phaedra. I've said this on my channel before. The reasons were because I feel like she could never really truly be herself because of everything that was going on with Apollo from the jump, right? So she, to me, has that toxic conditioning where it's like you stay no matter what. You try to protect your alleged happy marriage or whatever the case may be. And so it was just kind of like all Phaedra really talked about was her good name. Right. So I just never really, because I felt like she was in fake. But then when she got on Married to Medicine, personally, I was like, I like Phaedra now because she doesn't have pretending of everything. Like she's still Phaedra, let's be clear. But then you have people like Carlos King saying things like, well, what is she bringing? And I'm just like, leave that lady alone. You don't work over there. Leave her alone.
Yeah, just leave her alone. Let her rebrand. Let her rebrand without you filling her ears about sex dungeons, allegedly.
So do you think that actually happened? You think that was, because I heard that.
Well, from what I heard, he said that he never said anything like that. And Phaedra's just never said anything at all. And I did hear that allegedly Kandi and Todd, along with whoever else was involved, had to sign type of NDAs. And allegedly Kandi and Todd got some type of money for it already from the people. But
for what?
For having to go through this. For having to go through the whole alleged dungeon gate.
Got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody's debt is paid. Kandi made some money off of it. I wouldn't mind seeing Phaedra back over there. She paid her debt to society, and now it's Ken's turn.
You know what? Listen, a lot of people don't like Kim Zolciak, but I feel like Kim can read. Like she read Kenya down a number of times, but when Sheree had that housewarming, and
Yeah.
Kenya was in there, and Kenya was like, I think Kim told her something about like your vagina's gonna be hanging out or whatever, and then
Oh, yeah.
Kenya was like, well, I know you want to see it. And she was just like, oh no, bitch, I have a real man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was like, and then Portia's like, Kim, girl, you and your wig are winning, bitch. She was like,
That was hilarious.
Like, it was but it was accurate. And I never like to tell a woman, oh, you know, you don't have the ability to have a baby and all this, that, and the third. But I'm like, you coming for this lady. She didn't send for you. Ain't that your national, whatever it is that you always say?
Yeah,
so Kim read you your rights. I mean, Kim read you your rights. And see, but Kim could do that because she also did that with Pheadra. You remember on that boat I think they were at? And Pheadra was like trying to get at her. And she was just like, I didn't say that your husband's a convict. I was like,
oh,
what's for Kim?
Yeah. I don't need Kim back anywhere though. Kim can stay with KKK Boy. I don't like Kim, not for this franchise. I did not like how I don't like Kim. I believe everything you said about Kim. I believe she was using the N-word with the hard R. I believe
really
around that's what Nene said. Nene said she went to HR because Kim Zolciak was using the N-word and at work, and she was uncomfortable, and she went to HR about it, and everybody's like, but here you are smiling with her the next day, but still, she did this at work. It's not supposed to be accepted at work, period. Like, she has a point.
It ain't supposed to be accepted at all.
I don't care if me and you are friends. If you get me in a work situation and you do something, you trying to show me titties or something in the thing, I'm gonna be like, look, me and her are cool and everything, but there was areolas. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need to have that at work, right?
No, I get it.
And I bet if Kim did say that when she did, I'm sure Nene called her on it, and she probably would laughed it off or whatever. But then she went to HR, which was the right thing to do, you know. And they should have protected Nene at work.
I agree. What do you think about the irony that Kenya years ago said, or maybe this was on Carlos King last year, where she did that interview with him, and she was just kind of like, when she didn't like Nene, she was just like, you can't sue your employer and expect to come back and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
You in seemingly the same boat, unless they're lying to us about you being no longer being on the show. It feels like the blogs picking that up feels very intentional. Like someone said, go and put this out there into the world so that we can get people comfortable with that. But what do you think about the irony of that? And then what do you think about this alleged email that the employee
So the alleged email from Sally's, I feel like it was to be expected. We mentioned it before when the whole porn gate first came up, that it was probably going to affect her current dealings. If it's true, it would be affecting her current dealings, because that's Sally's Beauty. That's a women's brand. And who wants a woman doing this to other women? You know what I'm saying? Specifically. So we were already thinking about that. And that's a valid point. I feel like she should have, if she's really that smart, then she should have thought longer and harder about this. It was just not the right place. It's not the right time. How would you have ever thought that was a good idea at your business?
I don't know why she did that. That's why I would love to know what Brittany allegedly did to her.
I don't think Brittany did anything. I don't know if the rumors about Britt allegedly dated Mark did it. I don't know if the rumors about allegedly Britt said something about Brooklyn. Allegedly there were pows and purses. But you see how many allegedlys there's are, but we already have footage and audio about what she did. Mm-hmm. So I almost feel like all these other little stories about what could have happened are to justify what we've already heard and seen. Mm-hmm. We saw
there has to be some logical reason for the fans.
We're dealing with Ken.
No. What I'm saying is the people who want to make all of these explanations, or they have for them, this couldn't have happened unless something else really bad happened. In their minds, she had a reason. And I'm not saying she doesn't have a reason, but what I'm saying is the reason that you could ever give for doing that,
Right.
like it bothers my soul that Kenya said, you know, I want Brooklyn, you know, to have this as her part of her legacy, right? And then you go and you do that as the first thing that your legacy is going to be known for. It doesn't make any sense. So again, how smart are you? So I get I'm certain Kenya probably initially said she'll do this wherever. And then probably one of the producers would probably be like, if you want this to be guaranteed to be on the show. But I think Kenya would have been on board with that anyway, because in her mind, I need this to be on the show. I need this to work.
Do you think that producers are really making people do misdemeanors? And
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I don't want, and I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that anyone would have had to tell Kenya anything. I think Kenya can destroy herself on her own. I don't think she needs to be helped. What I'm saying is, I do think sometimes somebody can come along and say something, and you may not necessarily agree initially, but then you get to thinking about it, and you're like, you know what, that would be good. And then yeah, but the thing that I don't understand is, it's like the people, including her and Kandi and whomever else. I don't understand how you don't see how this is so egregious. Like, I don't understand. Like, before you do it. Because people are like, well, she wouldn't. I'm like, she's a half a century old. She knows right from wrong. At the end of the day, even if you don't know every little law, because we all have done something that we like, ooh.
I had to Google to see what it was. I had to Google and make sure that it was RP. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I didn't necessarily have to do that because the industry that I work in, most women will be, 1 in 4 women will be sexually, what do they say? They baby door will be violated. Let me say it like that at some point. In their life. So for me, that isn't far-fetched that something like that could happen, and that we need stronger laws against what they call domestic violence. But Revenge P was added to the vote. What is it called? VAWA, Violence Against Women Act. It was added, right? Yeah. So it wasn't always like that. And let's just be clear, domestic violence wasn't even what's the right, how do I say it? The Violence Against Women Act didn't even come into effect until 1996.
Right, because in housing, I do property management for like a long time, and in housing, we had to have women sign this VAWA thing that if they were victims of domestic violence and stuff, that we had to take precautions as the office once they identified themselves as that, because this VAWA paper told us what to look out for and what it included, and then we had to do certain steps to protect them further. So the vow is real, and I'm thankful for it. And you're right, though, it didn't even happen until the 90s. But ladies are public enemy number one, and then we have Black women who are public enemy number one. And so yeah, it's an attack on us that it took till 1990s to get something to protect us.
Right. And this is the thing. The only reason I listen, I'm like this close to like really going in on this, like with my state and my city, because I think we need to remove the word domestic violence from our category. It needs to be removed from the law. And here's why. If someone is being assaulted, I'm just going to say it because it is what it is. Why is it only we use that word so that people can have an image in their brain of what we're talking about when you're referring to that? So then they could also think that's a private matter. This is
right. Yeah. I'll let them just handle that. That's behind closed doors. Domestic and automatically infers a level of privacy.
Not only a level of privacy, but that we shouldn't interfere. Right. We can put a million blames on that person. Right. Well, she's still there and she did this, that, and the third, whatever the reasons are. She stayed because she, financial security, whatever it is, that women are so stupid and we're just so helpless. We have to stay in these horrible situations when we know that's not true. But the thing that bothers me the most is if it was happening to any other person, just randomly someone was assaulted, that's what we would call it. We wouldn't call it something else. So we need to remove, I just feel like eradicate that word so we can call it what it is. And also too, so that women can feel free and confident to say, I want to go in and report this person. Also, what year was that? Was it in the 90s? I think it was in the 80s or maybe the 70s, where there was a law that basically they created that said you can be R'd by your husband.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is for however many millennia, that can't happen. You're married. So what I'm saying is, beyond all of that, it's just kind of like the laws are still evolving. They definitely haven't caught up, and I don't think it'll probably change in my lifetime because we like to have that category.
Yeah.
But all it does is allow women to get unalived. It allows women to have more toxic conditioning. And what I mean by that is more women will go and attack. Cassie is a good example, right? They'll go and attack this lady. She had to been there for money and whatever else when they don't know the cycle of violence.
Yeah.
They'll attack her and they will wait for eternity for the perpetrator to play out in court. But that woman, she got to be lying. She is a liar from the pits of hell. And she can't be like, it's nonsense. But anyways, so that night that email came out, I was like, oh my God, I can't say it's 100% authentic, but it makes sense because in the email, it says something like, the first line, I think says something like, well, if you have someone come in and they're asking why it's not here and the product isn't in the store, then we can just say, Sally doesn't agree with X, right?
Yeah.
But the second one's the one that tripped me out because it was just kind of like, listen, we was gonna drop her anyway. Like, that being said, I do feel bad for Kenya, and it's not in a I feel bad for her because she did this for herself type of way, but
yeah,
I know that social media and the bullying that goes on can be way more than an ocean, even though you feel like you only impacted this one lady and you don't realize, because even all of the people that are still Kenya fans, they still feel like they could go online and say this lady was a hoe anyways, and that to me, that's the other part.
Yeah, like that's more abuse on this lady. Like,
but here's the irony: you, Kenya, were sitting on that carpet, in the gym, crying about how these ladies, after Apollo said that he lied on you, these ladies have come and said Apollo's lying about lying, and so now you crying because they called me a whore for 4 years, which I think is horrible. But you did think, oh, after these people have attacked me for 4 years straight saying I'm a hoe, I now can just make poster boards calling this other woman a hoe. Yeah. And it's all good. Where is
the soliloquy? And then have a whole speech around her hoism.
Did she? She had a speech around it?
You didn't hear the audio that she was like, you're selling Snapchat cats for $1,400? And told her that she was cheap because she would have charged $2,500 at least.
Oh my God.
There's audio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not AI'd or nothing. That's Kenya. And also in the audio, it's proof to me that she's talking to Britt only also because Michelle A.T. was there and showed us Britt come out. But also in the speech, she's talking directly to Britt. And now everybody's like, she wasn't there. She wasn't there. Then why is she talking to Britt in the speech?
Oh, she did? Wow. And didn't like the most of the cast leave? Except for
yeah. And then I heard only Cynthia is the one that was like, that wasn't good, Ken. That was not
Cynthia
good.
Was there? I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Cynthia was like, that is no bueno.
That's the thing that's why I can't understand.
With Kim, her and Kim are filming in some other place. Kim Zolciak and Cynthia.
Oh, Kim is filming with someone?
Yeah, whoa. Kim and actually they wanted Nene to be on the same show, and Nene was like, Kim's there, I'm not there. So, and plus she's booked and busy on Lifetime right now.
I know you say all roads lead back to Nene. I
love it. Yeah, they do. They totally do in this regard.
I think she is so good for the show, but I personally don't want her to come back, although I know it would be a great show if she did. Because it's just kind of
I don't want her to save them. They don't deserve to be saved by her after what they put her through.
I agree 100%. And I hate that it went down the way it went down. But I will say this. My confession is I did think Nene shot herself in the foot when all of the stuff was going on. Because I'm like, even before Kenya said it, I was just like, you can't sue your employer and then think that you're going to still be employed. But then there were other housewives that did that. And they still were.
And they're all white, and they all still come on Bravo all day, every day. And some of them even pushed Annie, and some of them got hyphy with production, and they all still get to sue their employer and come back. So the message is that if you're Black, you can't sue your employer for valid reasons and expect to come back.
Right. What do you think about Candi's comment when she said, oh gosh, she said something recently. Oh, I can't remember. Oh God, it was a comment she made recently. Okay, it'll come back to me, but
Yeah, I don't really follow Kandi stuff. I like her entrepreneurial shit. As far as her voice, I like the way Whitney Houston sings better.
Right.
And as far as her stage presence, I like the way Janet Jackson performs better. Yeah, yeah. That was not ever like my favorite girl group. I love SWV though. And also Kandi rubbed me the wrong way with going behind all the other Black ladies' backs and securing production deals for herself and leaving them with these conditions they have to work in by agreeing to pretend there's no problem so she could get her production stuff off the thing. And then she's their poster board child for, oh, look, we like Black production stuff. Oh, look, nothing to see here. I did not like that. I do not subscribe to that type of treason against the Black community. And yeah, she doesn't get anything from me. Nothing.
So I don't know. I don't hate her. I do think her time was up, but I'm not mad at her for going and getting business deals. I'm not mad at her because she made a decision.
I'm mad because she said, well, because she agreed. Nene called the ladies and Nene was like, ooh, this is getting bad. We need to go to HR together. Everything will work better if we go together. And they agreed in a text to go together. And that was like on a Thursday. Friday, Kandi went to the people. Monday, Nene was like, oh, this is all, this timeline is alleged. But it was basically how it happened where they agreed. Kandi ran back like Candy Cruz. That's what they be calling her, Candy Coon. Because look, you shucking and jiving for massa, and you left everybody else out in the plantation in the heat, in the oppressive heat of the cotton field. Kandi left all the other ones out there. And then when Bravo was like, is anything going on? She was like, nope. Even Kandi was like, nope.
That's what the thing that I didn't like. And I said this on another show, Gray Hair Diva. This was probably a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly when it was, but whenever they were talking about Nene and they were saying that Nene had proof or whatever the case may be. And then Kandi came out and said, no, I've never witnessed anything like she never experienced racism or whatever the case may be. I didn't like that.
Right.
Because it was just kind of like, one, you putting yourself into a whole corner. Because if you're ever brought up in, what do they call it? I want to call it a dissertation. If you're ever deposed,
right.
But if you're ever deposed, you're going to say you never witnessed it and you have a whole text message or someone saying they have a whole text message of you agreeing that these things are going on.
Yes. And that's the reason you need to go talk to HR. Yes. There was a thread. There was a thread.
But the one thing I can't understand though about that lawsuit is like, why is it not resolved yet? That's the part that I don't.
It's sent to arbitration. So there's an arbitration clause, even in our leases. There's now wording in leases even where you have to go to arbitration. You can't enter into a class action suit against the property management company, and you have to agree to mediation and all this stuff. So they're tying people's hands so that you can't really fight back. So yeah.
I think Nene must have, she would, I think to avoid that, she would have to have something criminal, meaning something like discrimination. That would alleviate and remove all of this.
She has discrimination. She has.
It has to be something that her lawyers can pinpoint and say, this person was allowed to do this, kind of like what they're trying to do with Kenya now, and say, oh, these people on the network on this other show and right? She would have, in my opinion, and I'm not an attorney, but I feel like that's the way she could remove. It's sort of like, you know how people will say, well, they signed an NDA. Well, NDAs do not cover crime. So if you witness the crime, you can't hold that over my head and say, oh, now you got to pay me or whatever. So I feel like I do think that there's proof, so to speak, of probably racist things going on. I just think it's hard to say Andy was racist or this network was racist, because let me tell you what's going to happen. People will say, just like they'll say with the colorism thing, oh, that's not happening because there's
Cassidy, oh, you stayed.
Right. But they'll say, well, these other people came after them egregiously. The women came after and they aligned against this person. And so how is it different? It's different if you're brown. And we know it's different and we can see it all day long. I can never speak to the understanding of what a man goes through. I'm not a man and nor will I ever be. That doesn't mean that
Like
I can't.
discrimination could get proven right there, because I have not been able to come back to work for following the proper channels and going to HR and trying to get this resolved amicably. I followed the proper channels, and you blackballed me. You got me not hired at other places. I haven't been welcome back on your platform. I had a non-compete clause where I couldn't go to similar shows for a certain amount of time. Yet white ladies who have sued you are still up on here. Vicky's on this season again. Vicky sued them. Vicky sued them. She's on here again. Who else sued? I had a whole list. I forget the names, but they were all white. It was at least 4 white ladies. Sued Bravo and currently work with Bravo. Sued them and currently work with them. That's proof of Nene's discrimination. She sued them and can no longer work with them. That's your proof right there. How do 4 white ladies get to sue you and they still work, and 1 black lady sues you and she ain't working? That's discrimination. And some lawyer needs to jump on this. Also, Nene could get the right to sue. She needs to go back to court like Faith Stowers did from Vanderpump Rules, the black girl that was called the police on by the Vanderpump Rules, Stassi, the clan in Vanderpump Rules. There was a KKK clan, and it had Stassi, and it had Kristen Doty, and it had the Maxes got fired, Jax got fired, Brittany got fired for talking about Faith so disparagingly, calling the police on her a number of times to report her to the police for crimes she had not committed. She served our country. And she was bound by ND. Look, that's the alarm to go off to come on your channel. And she was bound under a NDA contract that she couldn't do anything. She went, after 5 years, she went and got the right to sue Vanderpump Rules. And that's what she just entered. And she did a Jane Doe, a Jane and John Doe et al. 50 people, because she said she wanted to include Lala, but if Lala wasn't her real name, if she names Lala and that's not her real name, then the suit doesn't go against her. She has to start from scratch. But when you name Jane and John Does and you discover their real identities during discovery, then you name them and they are absorbed into the suit. So she left 50 Jane Does on there, and she left it for the Stassies, for the Jacks, for the Lisas Vanderpump, because Lisa was like, "Oh, we need some color on our show, and you're a nice looking melanated girl," you know, and got her over there.
That's how I feel about the black guy, Garcelle's son. Yeah, I feel like, and I never watched Vanderpump Rules, but it did feel like a very token.
Yes. Oh my God.
He's very handsome. So he's easy on the eyes. So I could see how that would be cool. Plus he's a man. But why not put another listen? Put Kenya Moore over there.
Right.
They would have
themselves over there. Because Lala thinks she's the baddest, toughest bitch in West Hollywood. Lala's head is so big, she thinks she's Black Tupac. Right. Stepping on TV in front of black people, and everybody's like, that's part of it. That's all part of it.
I never saw this or witnessed this on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I never saw a black hostess, black what do you call those people? Waiter, waitress in Vanderpump's. Any of I just never saw it, and I just was like,
well, that was Faith Stowers. So she worked there when the show started. And then
she didn't have a job. I would love to see the footage of all the black people or people of color, of any color.
Yeah, no, she has people of color in the background, like the expediters, the bus boys, and then there was like a black manager, but for some reason he didn't want camera time, or she didn't offer it to him. I would be interested to see the same things, and that's part of why I feel like Faith Stowers and Nene could team up, because their complaints are very similar about the abuse, about the mental abuse, about the contracting, about the calls, about the cover-ups, about the threats, about the duress, everything.
You know what's interesting to me too, and this is a little bit off subject, obviously, but I feel like there's a reckoning coming just for men in general, especially people in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be, they called it with Bethany, they called it the reckoning, but I'm saying a serious one where women get together and they say, we have to do what's in our best interest so that this ish doesn't continue on to perpetuate into perpetuity. I think something like that is on the horizon. And I also think reality TV is.
Peggy. So you got somebody. Peggy said what?
Oh, I have a person.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Oh, Peggy.
Come on, Peggy. Peggy Hunter, come on up here. Tell us why you think that, girl.
Yeah, I would love to hear that logic when when a noseless, jobless woman is keeping something alive that Nene built that hasn't been the same since she left. Tell me, please, what respiratory therapy is Kenya providing for this show? Keeping the show alive, really, that's really hoity. That's very, very hoity. I love all POVs, but I would love to hear how that logic resonates.
I don't understand it. I don't understand. I think it's the celebrity effect. It's just go ahead.
What's interesting is that when Nene was and remains the HBIC, the numero uno woman on that show, to this day in 2024, she ain't been there in 4 years. And now we're saying things like Kenya's keeping it alive.
How
is she? But the ratings don't show that. Her storyline definitely doesn't distribute that, does not display keeping anything alive. I mean, they used to have vomitoriums in Greece where they could just regurgitate over and over again. That's what Ken does. Regurgitates fake men and fake problems all day. Tell me more about how she's keeping something alive that I would love to hear.
Whoever Peggy is, she's not going to come up because she knows she's not going to win that argument. I just do
argument. I would mute myself and listen to the logic that Ken is keeping something alive.
Well, I don't see the logic, but I also don't see the logic in standing 10 toes down for someone that doesn't know you exist with regard to horrific behavior. Because even if we took the revenge pee and whatever else out of that, what season do you have Kenya on the season where we could say she was a good, decent human being the entire season?
None.
To say that's not to say you can't be shady, but like when?
Yeah. Chanel, we only get those stories about Ken in real life. So I feel like we only get the stories about Ken is awesome. Oh my God. She's she's the kindest person. She's the best. She's the this. But what we've seen on TV for over a decade has been completely the opposite. So either she has 3 personalities or she's performing.
It doesn't ring true because who do we know that Kenya knows that's a friend? How do you sit on a TV show for many years and your friends never populate? The only friends she ever shows are the people that are on this cast. And I don't think any of those people are friends, including, this is the thing that I don't get, the amnesia. I'm like, you do realize, Cynthia, Kenya's first season, she said that you're basically a dum-dum. So I don't know how y'all then become besties. After you call me a dum-dum, you might as well wrap it up. We ain't ever going to be friends. That doesn't mean I can't be cordial. I can't laugh and joke and whatever, but you're not my friend. Just like I don't see how her and Kandi are friends. But I just feel like it's a whole bunch of fakery because
alliances.
Who are you friends with in real life? You don't have one real life friend that would come up, except for the one guy, the guy when they had that pillow fight.
That Brandon. Yeah, that guy that
bothers me.
Whatever happened to him? I would be interested to know, are they still excellent friends? And if not, what was the fallout? Or even more so, like if you ever go to Kenya's page, it's just her in Brooklyn. And then when she's out, it's with people that aren't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know one person outside of her family, her auntie, and she's no longer around. I think her auntie felt away after probably people attacked her. I feel very strongly that Twitter or whoever attacked her when Kenya went and tried to, get her mom to like expose her mom.
Right.
And she told her, and I disagreed with the aunt, but it's just how I feel. But she was like, you don't have that right, Kenya. Kenya was like, I do situation, and I 100% agree. But the way you went about it is wrong. I get that you probably feel like justified, right, in going and trying to, but it's like you're not thinking about how this is going to humiliate this woman. At the end of the day, you want someone to care, and they're never going to. Not in the way that you want them to. You have to be okay with understanding that people, you have to lose sight of who you want them to be. Versus, and really pay attention to who they are. This lady has said to you, and it's egregious, and I think it's horrible. But Kenya, girl, you didn't create your own trauma center down there. Everybody has one. You didn't create your trauma center.
Yeah.
You got the fear. You got the
own triage.
Right.
She and then look, Peggy, I'm like really confused because she's keeping the show alive, and she literally just got production shut down. Like, we're gonna have to be more intellectually honest up in here.
Right.
I love you, Peggy, but that just doesn't. I just can't. I'm so sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something natural. I want to see some fucking stretch marks. Okay.
What? I no longer listen. Do you think her butt is real? Do you think it's fake? I think it's fake.
Oh, it's fake. We got befores and afters.
We do.
I posted the video of her dancing she was dancing on somebody. I posted it during this revenge porn thing recently, a video on my page. I found of her, and she posted it.
Really? Can you post
her? She posted the video of her before she got her butt done, shaking her used to be butt on somebody, and it was not a badunkadunk. It was not a donkey booty, and it didn't have nothing going on, and it was a very butt. It was just a normal butt. It wasn't like it wasn't.
But you know what? I think it's something in those butt thingies, whatever it is that they're doing, because your butt is still growing. Like whatever Nicki Minaj started with is not what she has now. Same thing with Kim Kardashian and the Chloes of the world and all that.
And poor Vivica Fox.
Did Vivica Fox get a butt implant?
Oh my God, she had to have, because
she had a booty in the movie with the aliens.
She was just at a game the other day, at a WNBA game, and she had on all white. And I was like, yay, Vivica. I love Vivica Fox. But her eyes are so small and her butt is huge.
And she's so pretty to me.
It looks like Tiny and T.I. You know how Tiny's thing is going all, how her thighs are so little and her butt.
Tiny got a BBL too? What in the hell is happening? Everybody.
You are not noticing, because the older you get, the thinner the muscle mass on your thighs and the fat on your thighs becomes. And then you are left with this huge badunkadunk.
Who was the person you said before Tiny that I need to go look at?
Oh, I didn't say Ken.
The before and after. No, it was someone after Ken. You said someone after. Oh, Vivica.
Oh, Vivica. Oh my God. So she was just at a game, and I was like, oh, that does not look great. Her legs are like this. Her legs were so skinny like this, and literally her hips look so big like that. But oh my gosh, just not a good look, you guys.
So sad, because she's so pretty. I always thought she was just a baddie. I always thought
where her fillers were. There's this thing happening with people who got the fillers, and then you just get to a certain age, and the way the fillers break down, they're saying that on Jennifer Aniston, it's showing up really bad, and it kind of looks like the same thing that's happening on even Vivica, where, just leave yourself alone. Leave yourself alone.
Yeah,
I mean, do what you want and check the old pictures. Do what you want, but check what the person's going to look like when they're like 65, 75. See how it translates in age, because you expect to live a long time. So just watch how it's going to progress. That's all I can say. Do what you want. It's your body. You're a sovereign human. But look at what the age is going to do. Larsa Pippen, same thing. We know that's fake. So that's one that is fake. Look at her thighs compared to her buttocks. And you can see that there's just all of a sudden there's a.
Yeah. And it's like it goes under, like that's how you really kind of know. And I remember whenever Phaedra was like, yeah, she has a diaper booty when she was talking about Kenya.
Yeah. And
I was like, leave it alone. But Phaedra's is real. But I don't want her to put another needle or anything near her face. I need her to.
You think Phaedra's been getting work done? I think she does a lot of contouring and stuff. I don't think she's actually. Yes. Okay, well maybe she got, because her lip used to be very, very like big. So I think
look at Phaedra first 3-4 seasons, and then Because I was saying earlier, that lady became a Wilhelmina model immediately after they fired her. I was like, well, because I never thought she was beautiful. I didn't.
I'm gonna look at before and after her, Pheadra before and after.
Yeah, look at her and her hair and everything. But they all have a glow up. But I never thought Phaedra was terrible looking. What I'm saying is who she looks like now. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not saying she cut her face, but there is something she's doing something, and I'm just like, be careful with the Botox and all. It
looks like she got something done to her lips, pretty much. It doesn't really look well.
And she looks like she's lightening her skin because the Phaedra from yesteryear, she is a whole light skin lady now. Not like light skin, but it's just different.
Can you see like that?
Is that the current?
Yeah, this is current and before.
I don't know. Where did you get that from? What website is that?
I just Googled where is this?
Go and look at that. Go look at the photo. Go look at that photo they just released where they all look like they're on a girls trip or show trip or whatever.
Oh, you mean for Married to Medicine?
Right. Where is Sweet Tea? Because I didn't see her in that photo.
Oh, and did you see that Tocha posted under that picture? She did at Sweet Tea and at Dr. Contessa. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you either. So, and Anila was hanging out with her on 4th of July. Anila was there. Dr. Contessa was there. Sweet Tea was there. They were all hanging out with Tocha on the 4th of July. Yeah. So Tocha is doing, I'm feeling like so far we didn't see Sweet Tea on the Doctors Only trip, but nor was Tocha there. It was just Heavenly, Jackie, and Simone when they went to DC. And then they just had another couples trip where they went to Key West, Florida. And I didn't see anybody post anything from that trip. But now we see these pictures where they're all on in someplace tropical. That could be Florida behind them with the water where they're all on that pier. And it's appearing that Sweet Tea wasn't there either. So I don't know what if they're going to be shooting separate, because let Sweet Tea tell it in her most recent live about 2 weeks ago. She said that that dance video we saw that went viral with her twerking on Dr. Heavenly, acting like they were having a good time. I was texting Dr. Heavenly. I was like, oh my God, it looks like you guys are getting along so good this year. I saw the twerk video. I was like, I'm so glad it's going to be a happy year. She's like, yeah, she's like, we're getting along. And then,
oh, so it's good. Okay.
Well, she's getting along.
Oh, okay.
We've seen Dr. Heavenly turn a corner on Sweet Tea. As soon as Sweet Tea started complaining about her mental health, Dr. Heavenly that day was like, look, she said she got some stuff going on. I'm gonna leave that girl alone. She literally said it last year.
Dr. Heavenly cannot do that though. And I know you're a Heavenly's angel.
She been trying. She didn't even take my questions about it. And I be trying to get stuff started. And she didn't even take my questions about it. So she's literally off Sweet Tea. She don't even want to say her name. But Sweet Tea did a live the other day, and she did it on her TikTok. And she was like, somebody asked her about the twerk video, and she's like, oh yeah, I was just at work. I don't like her. Nothing's changed. She said that. She said she's just trying to get a check and nothing's changed, and she don't like her.
What? I did a whole video on them at the end of last season, because I was just like, I can't watch if Dr. Simone doesn't apologize for it. I can't, because what decent human being says
what she said about, and then for people to not even really get on her like that. Dr. Simone be getting passes left and right. Dr. Simone is the reason that we know about the rumor. Dr. Simone is the reason we know about the rumor that is blamed on Quad. Even I did a video on that too. I can't remember the exact rumor, but
are you talking about where Quad was sleeping with the
contractor? Yes.
And she's not allegedly
and spilled that his wife was the one that started that rumor. And they're still berating Quad about stuff that Anila started. And never even got at buck teeth pancakes. No, I'm sorry. I'd be calling her teeth. She needs to go see Dr. Heavenly. But I feel like they look good in her mouth the way they look. Oh my God. I feel like they work out for her, because I don't know. There's something. She reminds me of Rudy from the Huxtables.
What do you mean?
If you look at Dr. Simone, she looks like Rudy from the Huxtables, but
you think so?
Yeah,
How?
let
You
me
got Keisha Knight Pulliam? I'm listening. I'm just gonna grab some water. Hold on one second.
Okay, Dr. Simone.
That's all I meant to.
And then what's Rudy's name from the Huxtables? Rudy.
It was Rudy. Oh, Keisha Knight Pulliam.
Oh, Keisha Knight. Thank you, Keisha Knight. Yeah, they have a similarity. Keisha Knight Pullman and Dr. Simone. Is that who I keep making her? Keisha Knight Pullman. Let me look back at Dr. Yep. If you pull up Keisha Knight Pullman and pull up Dr. Simone, then they can favor very much. So she's 57 years old. She's married to Cecil. Cecil is Cecil younger than her? I like Cecil. I feel like Cecil is a fun guy.
I think Cecil is. I think that's true. Where is the water? Now, I don't dislike Cecil,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I can't with Dr. Simone. I always felt like I could have took her or left her. I don't feel like she's consequential to any part of it, to be completely honest. Like she could have.
I almost feel like they try to put too much on Dr. Simone to underplay Dr. Heavenly's doctorism. Like they're like, oh, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie are real doctors. Dr. Heavenly is a doctor too, people. I'm like,
Well, but that's why I've always felt a way about Dr. What's her name?
Jackie.
Yeah, I've always felt some type of way about her because I'm just kind of like, she showed her skin color to me. See, whatever when Heavenly stepped on the scene, season 2, I believe it was, and you in this little lady's house talking about telling this lady what did she say? You not even a doctor. She said, I'll call you if I need help with an abscess. I was like, disrespectful is.
Yeah, because that was when Dr. Heavenly was fatter too.
Yeah, and she told her that too. I was like, I can't.
That's one thing. I'm not with fat shaming, and I don't think that skinny people ever have a right to tell
Dr. Jackie
anything.
She hides behind her MD with that. She doesn't like people overweight. She doesn't like people that don't look a certain way or eat a certain type of food.
It's just mean. It's just mean.
Right. But she hides behind it like, I want you to do this because you need to be healthy. And no, you don't. You just don't like people that are overweight, period, point blank.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because you could still treat people nice even if they're overweight.
Because what difference does it make? You have a ton of unhealthy, skinny people. I know a whole bunch of them.
I didn't know that. I was thinking that, if you were skinny, you had low blood pressure and all kind of stuff. Nope. You can have chronically high blood pressure and be a waif.
Yep. You can have all kinds of health problems. But it's just, I wish that they would get too new of them, but I know that they're never going to do that, mostly because of how they handled the Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly situation where, she had the vice president she was having a conference with her and she became the face of, Black women and how we're not taken seriously in ER and all that. And just in healthcare in general. And it just really disappointed me. It was so disappointing because I struggled with the health situation for like 2 years. And I'm like, and now you on here talking about, you're giving credence because you're talking to the vice president of the United States. That's the biggest microphone you can get on unless you're going to talk to the president directly. So it's like, when you have that type of microphone and that's what you're going to say about Black women, we're exaggerating our pain. That's why
I was on that live. I love Dr. Jackie. I love Dr. Heavenly. I was literally on the live the day Dr. Jackie said that. And you guys know for a fact, well, the people that know me know, that if it's wrong, I'd be like, oh, that was hella wrong, ladies. What the fuck you mean by that? What you trying to say about the Black people? Mm-hmm. It was not said in that vein.
So break it down for me like I'm a 2-year-old. What did I miss?
Well, the way I took it was that she was literally giving an example during the live. I did not have I didn't even get a slightest of a trigger that she was trying to say that Black women fake their things. She was saying that that's what they feel like Black women do. And because of that, XYZ. Not her feels like that. They, as in other doctors in the medical field, already feel that way. And this is what they do. She wasn't saying that she personally subscribes to that. She wasn't saying that it was okay. She wasn't saying that we always fake our stuff. She was saying as an example of what we go through. So don't go in there, because the way I took it was because they already think this about you. Don't go in there and just ask for time off for no reason. Just don't.
You're creating a human being. There's always a reason for you to go in and ask. I feel a way about it. I didn't watch the whole video, and I get what you're saying. You need the context, but she never, that I saw, cleared it up. Show me the context where you're saying, I'm not saying that at all about Black women. And that was the other thing. She never said that. She didn't come.
But in the whole conversation, it was in that whole conversation, she expressed her love. She expressed her love and adoration for Black females. She was talking about us from a place of love the entire interview. Her and Dr. Heavenly had an excellent conversation. It was one of the realest conversations I've ever seen Dr. Jackie be involved in, where she even let a semblance of her guard down. And that's the same reason why Dr. Heavenly still has the video up to this day, is because there's nothing wrong with what she said.
So then why apologize if there's nothing wrong with what she said? Something ain't right.
She apologized. She apologized because people were offended. And that's the basic. And then everybody was mad that her apology was like, I'm sorry to people who I offended.
Well, because this is the thing. You're an authority. And so, and I'm telling you from my perspective as a Black woman I don't have any kids. So you're not talking to me anyway. But my point is, as a person who went to doctor after doctor after doctor trying to find a resolution, and there isn't one, meaning I still don't have a diagnosis. I just, listen, they cut up in my body however many times and something worked. They can't even tell me what worked. So whenever I have a person, that there was multiple times where I wasn't believed, right? And so then you hear this authority figure saying, hey, y'all should, she's talking to the president, to the vice president, and saying, y'all need to listen to Black women and take her seriously. And then you have this other video that completely seemingly contrasts what you're saying over here. So it's like, which one is it? Do you love Black women and whatever else? And also, too, it just, nothing about Dr. Jackie personally, from what I could see from the TV, ever came across as I am accepting of people, especially Black women. It just never. And the reason I say that is from season 2, when Dr. Heavenly showed up, you from the get-go attacked this lady about what she looked like.
Phobic. That's when I'll say that. It feels like, based off of that, Dr. Jackie came off as fat phobic with the interactions that she's had with a number of people overweight on the show. And because even Buffy Purcell felt like the reason
that was another thing. Don't get me started. About to have going
down. For the animus between her and Buffy Purcell was because of the overweight aspect. Buffy was like, she just doesn't like fat people. And but I also feel like Dr. Jackie's work speaks for itself. She's been birthing babies, caring for babies, helping mothers bring life into this world for 20 years, at least 20 years. She says one off thing on, one very comfortable statement. I won't even call it off because it was a valid statement. People in the industry, in medical fields, do not listen to women. They do say that we don't need things off. They do not listen to us, period. They don't pay attention, period. And so it's really important to say exactly what's going on and not play when you go to the doctor, because they already don't believe you, was the point. Her work for over 20 years has proven her love of Black women, her love of Black life, because she has helped provide it and give it. So
but this is the problem with that, though.
Nobody's ever going to make me make one statement the reason. Unless it's something totally like in context, that's exactly what you meant. I watched that live. That's not how she meant it. I didn't take it like that.
That's what I'm saying, though. Then come out and say, let me be very clear. And this is my problem with it. I get what you're saying about the context of it. But if you already know, Black people only make up what, 13% of this population, and we already know how people, like you said, feel about Black women. We are the least protected in this country, and probably in the world on some level. So I wanted her to clear it up, because although I don't like her antics, I feel like, because I do feel like she's very much like how, remember I was telling you about Pheadra, where she can't just be authentic because of all of she needs to keep this glow of herself. So that's what it's just like something that's just inauthentic, and then you come across as very judgmental. And trust me, I could be a very judgmental person. So if I'm saying you come across as judgmental, you probably are.
Right.
And again, with your friends, you then said this lady ain't even a whole doctor. Oh, you're not. You have been dismissive from the. So for me, I've always felt that way, and so all I wanted her to do, and I think even the people that were coming for her, so to speak, I think the conversation, I can speak for myself, I can't say for everybody else. I wanted her to come out and say, listen, what I was saying in that video is this: Black women are already under attack. Da 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 da.
She did say that in her apology.
Hold on one second.
And then everybody hated her apology because it took so long, and she was obviously reading it. Remember? Yeah. She did say that in her apology. She said that.
She said what?
She said that she loves and supports Black women, and she didn't mean that way, and this is what she meant, to take care, special care when you go to the doctor and communicate effectively. So that's what she said in her apology.
I don't recall her saying, listen, what I said in that video was this. I was saying that we are not taken seriously. I was saying that as Black women, we are not da-da-da-da-da. And people think that we're strong enough, or I could take it, or whatever else, because that's what happens. It just is what it is. So that's what I think people were looking for. And then it's like, you keep getting it wrong because it just doesn't read authentic. I'm not here to push her over the edge. I'm saying, as a person that hasn't had a baby, as a person that's dealt with a lot of doctors, I'm saying there are situations that have happened to me where it's like a clear racist situation. And a clear situation where it's doctor after doctor doing things. And I'm just kind of like, now you have this idiot over here who wants to call the constable on my husband because he's like, take the IV out of my wife's arm so we can go to a hospital where she can get some treatment because she just had surgery 6 hours ago. Like, when you have that type of scenario play out in your life,
right?
And then you have this person who has a megaphone saying these things out of context, right? Meaning we're taking it out of context. Then I need you to make it 100% clear where nobody can shoot any holes through it. No defense team can just poke holes in your story. And it still isn't clear. It still came across after she read it, after she went on her live, after all of it still felt like, I still think people still don't feel that way. Like, I get that what you're saying, but I still think that a lot of people, and I'm not talking about people who just want to be mad at her. I'm saying
that's what it feels like to me, because why not just let the lady apologize and look at all the work she's done and let her work speak for itself instead of these 5 words she said one day?
It's because we have,
you know what I mean? Like,
I do. And it takes forgiveness, right? But see, the thing with forgiveness is you have to, there's a thing with forgiveness. You have to not justify why you don't forgive them, right? So for me, I'm justifying it right now, right? I'm saying I experienced a situation where I had surgery 6 hours ago, and you trying to tell my husband you're going to call the constable because he just wants you to take the IV out of my arm, and then that could have ended really terribly. What I'm saying is, when you don't make it 100% clear, your stance 100% clear.
Yeah.
When you have a megaphone like the vice president, is what I'm saying.
Well, she went back and already talked to the vice president this year, and it's going to be an even longer conversation this year. So they're picking up where they left off. I think they're trying to help her repair even that part of her image by giving her a second chance to have this conversation on TV.
Well, the thing for me at the time, right? Because I even said in my live, I'm like, I'll get there in the forgiveness thing, because like, you're right. You're not the totality of one situation or one thing you said. Because if that's the case, then we all need to be under, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is, for the people like the nurse that said, I'm gonna call the constable if you try to leave here with your wife. I'm saying that that lady, you not coming and making it 100% clear, that lady with all her ignorance thinking that she can do that to get us to just submit, you are giving her grace. I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. It's indirect. This lady may never see it, is my point. But if your people aren't making it crystal clear, that's the problem that I have with it, because of all the things that I went through. And I know people that work in healthcare, people that are good people, surgeons and all, right? So I'm not trying to nail her to the cross, because I don't think any of us could be in cell block C for saying something, whatever, doing something. So I'm not saying that. I just wish that, because of her authority is what I'm getting at. Like how you're saying all the good things she's done, because of that, I need you to say, no. Let me be crystal clear. My Black women, I'm saying any woman that goes into the whatever situation, this is what you need to be thinking about. Because obviously, women who have 3-year-olds or 8-year-olds at home, they all, let me not say all. We all know somebody. We all know somebody that called into work and their child ain't sick, and they come back with grades the next day, whatever. Right? So it's people that do live up to the stereotype that I think people feel like she was trying to insinuate.
Right.
I'm gonna go and listen to the
all Black though, is your point. Like, so why even say that? I
say
think
that again.
she did not do herself any favors by being that relaxed with her statement. And some people may require further explanation or something from her. And she just has to be.
It's because she's a public figure. That's the problem. If she's just some regular doctor from wherever, okay, whatever. But when your statement can be taken out of context, right? For people like me or whoever that hear a portion of it, and the people that aren't like me, the doctors and the people in the healthcare field who feel whatever, either whatever type of bias, implicit or otherwise, they feel justified in it. They're like, oh, so if this doctor over here, because think about how many, well, I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm mad about Dr. Simone, because I need her to apologize to Quad, and I hope that she did. I hope that she did on camera, and I hope she did off camera. But I'm gonna need you not.
Did you see Quad's new man?
He's hot.
He's
like, Quad.
Ooh, he is fine.
He looks so much better than Dr. G.
Oh my God. I know Sweet Tea is mad she went old instead of young.
Mm-hmm. You think it's going to last?
Yeah, they've already been going out
together. No. Sweet Tea and Dr. G. You think that's going to last?
No. I kind of don't think so, because I don't know. I feel like they're not really working on this baby thing. He wants a baby. He's on a time limit. I don't know if he doesn't.
Why don't they just get a surrogate?
Maybe exactly. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're pussyfooting around for. It's weird. They could literally go to Dr. Jackie's surrogacy center and have their baby 3 weeks ago. Same with Buffy. But some people just want to complain.
Well, I think Buffy, I liked Buffy, but I do feel like now she's just so thirsty, and I hate to say that about a Black woman, but it just feels like you just are holding on to your 14 minute of fame, and I just want you to just go do something and be great and stop with the. What do you think about Mariah though? Do you think Mariah should be allowed to come back?
I'm not sure what exactly she did to get her creation taken away from her. It had to be pretty egregious. I want her to come back if she can get along, but she still throws so much shade to this day, and it's mean, nasty shade too. It just feels like kind of mean and harsh, you know. But I don't know. I feel like I love a good redemption arc. Maybe she could come back and visit with the ladies or something and have like a nice moment that way.
Well, I hope so. Well, my point is, like, it's just interesting how I've looked at that play out. I'm gonna say this one last thing and I'm gonna go, because I'm supposed to be making bread pudding like 2 hours ago.
Oh, do you make yours with any kind of bread or a certain kind of pastry?
I don't have a certain kind, but I like the babe, what's the name of that bread that I like? What is it called? No, not the butter bread, but I like that too. The one that the little small sliders. What is that called?
Oh, Hawaiian bread.
Yeah.
Hawaiian bread, bread pudding is so good. And you know, if you guys don't mind a couple extra sweets, my mom has this recipe where she uses this fine heart sweet rolls, and you toast them first, and then that is the bread in the bread pudding with a little lemon whiskey sauce. It's so good.
That sounds good. So I'm gonna make it tonight. I have a combination of the um what is that bread called? What did I call brioche, which is like a bit it's a more dense bread, and then just like white still bread. Well, I made it still. I put it in the oven.
Yeah.
But I'm making the custard. I'm gonna add raisins to it. I saw some lady, and I think maybe I might add a little bit of pecans. I have some pecans. I might add that. Not 100% certain, but I'm also gonna have caramel sauce on the drizzle on. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
Take a picture and post it.
I do. I post all my. You'll see, like if you go look at my shorts, I bake all the time.
You see it. I'll go back and look for some of those things.
Mm-hmm. You have any last words? Anything you want to say? Because I'm about to hop over here. I'm gonna make the bread pudding, and you will definitely see it.
This has been an awesome, robust conversation. I love talking about it. You're a good conversator, and I love that we don't even agree on everything because we don't have to. Because the world, can you imagine how boring it would be if everybody thought like Kenya? And so,
I did not expect that. I'm not playing with you, but I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, but thanks for having me up. And now that I know the time difference, I'll adjust my alarms in the future when you invite me.
I'm glad you even saw it because I was like, I don't know. She might have been like, I came up and then you wasn't even there because I told you
that's what happened last time. I was like, oh, but I didn't know we were on this difference time.
You thought I was in Cali or somewhere near there?
I just didn't.
I'm all the way in Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
so I make sure. Huh?
Are you flooded? Do you have power?
Yeah, we have power. We got power back yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, right after
a lot of water damage.
Well, this is the thing I will say, and I always give glory to God as much as I possibly can. Where my house is situated, it floods all the way around. Like sometimes, like during Harvey and stuff like that, you couldn't leave the neighborhood, like off my street. But we never had water.
That is such a blessing.
It is.
Wow.
And we live near like this. There's a major street. It's called Highway 6, and there's a reservoir. And I remember being so angry because I don't know if this was Harvey or the one after that, but I was so enraged because I was just kind of like, they were talking about releasing or opening the levees or whatever it is that would keep the water in that reservoir because they're like, if we do that, then the water can subside. But I'm like, I don't have flood insurance because I don't live in a flood area. Don't get me started.
Yeah, they don't give you flood insurance and they don't give you earthquake insurance in California.
And you have to be in a flood area, and then they have to say that anyway, it's a big whole thing. I know. And it could take forever, but it just felt like, who's thinking these things?
If the same people that was thinking it in New Orleans, they did that to the levee in New Orleans. They blew up that levee in New Orleans to save every place from flooding. They released the levee there. That's what happened. They be doing stuff on purpose to certain income areas. And I would like to see what the median income is of the area that they were even threatening to breach the levee in, because that would tell you all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, the area that I live in, when we moved in this area when I was a kid, I was like 12.
Yeah.
And I don't even live in the area that we moved in. Like the area we moved in was the average income, I think in 1992, when we moved there, was like over 100,000.
Yeah.
Per person that lived in that home. So that neighborhood is still a neighborhood. Now I don't live in that neighborhood. I live in neighborhoods adjacent.
Yeah.
But it's a more diverse neighborhood now. But because there was no brown people over here when
that's another indicator of why they're willing to do it.
But that being said, there are many people of color over here now where I live. And I have to say, when we had that huge storm in June, some big 100-year storm, is always something with us. I was just kind of like, so we were out of power for seemed like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And just like on the verge of crazy, like, oh my God, if I don't get some power soon, what is happening? Right. I just was kind of like, so the power came on. Let's say the power came on the next day at like 10 a.m. And we like, yeah, we're so happy, right? Literally 4 hours later, the power went back off. And we just kind of like, what are we doing? Because Texas is the only state that's not on the grid.
I know. And that's part of why my son keeps threatening to want us to move to Texas. And I'm like, they're not even on the grid, son.
We're not on the grid. But Texas, listen, Texas we also are the only state that can raise our flag up to the same level as the United States flag. Be very clear. at the same
Yeah.
time. No other state can do that. We just
Yeah.
have, listen, we just different in Texas.
It's very different. And
We're
like you
very-
guys have had Six Flags, and that's why it's called. Oh shit.
Are you okay? You okay? Drink some water. Oh my God. I don't want you to. You okay?
I have
Okay,
this
don't
fan
stop.
on right here, and it just like blew this. I don't know. All of a sudden, but that's a sign that you gotta go and I gotta go.
We do. So I will see you later, love. Have a good one.
You
Y'all
too.
go
Everybody
to her
smash
channel
your
and smash all her buttons too.
Okay.
All right, love. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye bye. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Chanel's Reality. I gotta go. Y'all see, I've been trying to eat this pizza because I'm starving and I haven't had any sleep, and it's been over 24 hours. I need to get some rest, and I need to go make my bread pudding. So, like I said before, please hit all of my buttons. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before my birthday next month. So if y'all could, go ahead and subscribe for your girl, it'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, y'all have a good, very, very good rest of your evening, week, and life. But please return, hit my notification button so you know when I'm going to be live or when I upload. Bye. Am I doing this right? Oh, please. Oh, no, I didn't want to leave. I want to end. Okay, there we go. Bye, guys.